Hello, everyone. I'm just going to wait for a few minutes for people. Come on. Get myself together. Let me know if you guys can hear me when you come on. Hi, Karima. Tell me if you can hear me. Before I get to talking and no one can hear me. Hi, baby. Hey, Ash. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Hello, everyone. Sorry for the late start. Hi, baby. Hello. Hi, Quandra. Hey, Ash. Let me say hi to everybody. Good. Hey, Deed. Oh, Mom and Mother has a wine. It's been a long day, folks. Hello, Allie. A long day. Whew. So, hi, Netta. I miss you. Hi, she. Nashir. Hey, sister. So, today, I was not, yes, wine. I'll share it with you. Today, I was not supposed to be doing a Q&A. Hey, sister. Thank you, Karima. Hey, Elsie. But unfortunately, my dear friend that I was supposed to interview today, due to health reasons, we had to cancel our interview. And so I just ask that you all keep her in your prayer, her and her 4 children, her bonus daughter, her mother, father, husband, and everybody that's attached to her. It's a very difficult time for them. And so I decided, okay, well, why not do another Q&A? Because I received a lot of questions. So I was like, hey, why not just do it this way? I love the questions. Thank you guys for sending them. So before I go into the questions, my second person that I was going to interview now is going to be my first. And is one of my favorite people. Her name is Ashley Cooper. And she is a mother to a teenage daughter that has type 1 diabetes. And my friend suffers from anxiety. So while she's being a loving mother to her daughter, she also has to take care of herself, which we all know can be a difficult thing to do. So that will be the interview next week. And I don't even know what next week's date is. Maybe somebody can help me. I know it's the new year, but it'll be next Tuesday. So hopefully you guys tune in and it'll be very informative. She's a lovely lady. One of my faves. And here go my brother on here saying my middle name. Hey, Elsie. So, one more thing before I do the questions. Look, guys, another Journey of Cherie merchandise got delivered. I got masks, folks. Look at this. I ain't gonna cover my lips. Look at that shit. Journey of Cherie. The 5th. Thank you. Look at that. It can fit all size faces. They're going to be on my website too. I should have them up there by tomorrow. They are $10. And I will be delivering if you're local. I can't deliver to New York, guys. And Cali. And Maryland. Thank you, Miss Rose. Thank you, Quandra. Oh, you can have it, Karima. I'll send it to you. Hey, Netta. So I'm going to go into these 10 questions. And also, after these 10 questions, I'm going to take a few from you guys. NC. I'll send it to North Carolina. I'm going to send them every place. I'm just not going to drive to these places if you're not in Philly. That's all I mean. I'll send them, though. They'll be on my website. So, as always, I'm not going to mention these names that sent me these questions, but they're really good questions. And I'm going to answer them off the cuff because I actually didn't even go over them too much. Sheesh. So the first question is, do you feel that forgiving someone involves rebuilding the relationship or totally releasing that relationship? Since I've learned how to forgive, I think I've always knew how to forgive. I just think I did it in not a good way. Like I would forgive you and cut you off at the same time with no warning. Great question, right, Quandra? Hey, little sis. So I would forgive you and then cut you off. And I think that wasn't fair to the people that I used to cut off because I wasn't mature enough at the time to be able to let people know how they made me feel. I would just allow things to keep happening and people to keep doing or saying things. And then when I no longer could handle it, I will cut you off and forgive you later, if that makes any sense. And it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy. So now I forgive first, definitely depending on what it is, because to be truthful with you, I don't forgive automatically. It depends on what it is, truth be told. But I forgive faster now because I realize that forgiveness is for you. And so for me, I don't like how that feels. It weighs on me. So I forgive you. And depending on what it is, I can move past you. But I think, too, it depends on what you did, how you handle it, how you approach me, But I don't think everybody that you forgive that you should rekindle any type of relationship, especially if it doesn't serve you any purpose, if it interferes with your peace. I don't think you should keep relationships in your life like that. Listen to you, Allie. No, huh? Nope to you too, Quandra, huh? Woo, Lord. I respect it. I respect it. You guys will get there. Let me tell you why you're going to get there. Because it's going to come a time in life that you're going to require someone to forgive you, whether you believe it or not. And that person might give you a hard way to go. And you might feel like you deserve that forgiveness. But who are you to make that decision? So I think you should probably, maybe look at it from that way. I'm just saying. Oh, I look fly. Thank you. Another question. Is it okay for people to use that I'm only human as an excuse for the emotional hurt they caused you? Absolutely not. I like that answer, Netta. Absolutely not. Because you can't just go, everybody's human. You can't just walk through life and say, well, I did this or I said that or I disrespect you in a certain manner and now you need to forgive me because we're human. We make mistakes. I do believe we make mistakes. I make mistakes all day long, truth be told, especially in my parenting. But at some point, you got to learn from your mistakes. There's no other way around that. You can't possibly expect somebody to keep forgiving you when you keep doing the same thing. That's how I feel about it. Hey, Mac. Hey, little sis, you'll get there too. You know, I'm going to tell you this. The older you get, I think the easier it is for you to forgive and move on. I understand you still in your 20s. When I was in my 20s, everybody can kick rocks. But I'm 40. And I'll be 41 next year. And so, you know, I had to learn how to forgive because I've done a lot of things that I'm not proud of. And I had to ask for forgiveness. So, you know, it'll take some time. That's all I'm saying. All right, another question. When did you disclose to your boyfriend that you have been raped? When did I tell him? Babe, I know you on here. When did I tell you? Hey, cousin. Hi, I miss you. I hope all is well. Thank you, brother. When did I tell my boyfriend? I don't know. I move a certain kind of way in relationships. And so for me, I'm no longer ashamed about that. So I just tell it. I don't know. Me and him have a really good relationship. We conversate about a lot. So I don't know how it came up. But I told him. And thank you, baby. So he said not too long after we were together. And so the kind of man that he is and the way he loves me, it bothered him because, of course, you know, to know that someone violated someone that you love, I'm sure it doesn't feel good. So, and he's so understanding. He just took it like a champ. Took it like a champ. And I think, too, when I tell people that I've been raped, whew, ugh. I think the way I approach it. Excuse me. Sheesh. Whew. Okay, give me a minute. Okay. You know, I haven't cried in a lot of years when I talk about that. So, I think because when I tell that story to people, I think the way people are comfortable with having a conversation with me about it is because I showed them that I'm okay, you know, and I've dealt with it for a lot of years, you know. So I think when I talk about it, I let people know it's okay to listen to me. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel a way. Just don't feel that way too long for me, you know, because I'm a survivor, you know? I'm a survivor. And so, and that's what I want you to see when you see me. I don't want you to look at me like, oh, you know, she been raped. You know, I can only imagine what she's been through and all of that kind of stuff. Thank you, Miss Rose. Just look at me and just be proud of me. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Because yeah, that's all I ask. Let me move past that question. Thank you guys for all the hearts. Thank you. That was a rough one. Sheesh. How was the transition from being a party goer to becoming a mother. Hey, Miss Rose. Love you too, cousin. Colette. Oh, I had my earrings on yesterday. I was going to wear them today, but I had to switch up. Let me get back to that question. How was the transition from being a party goer to becoming a mother? So if everybody knows me, really know, these streets don't owe me nothing. I used to tear them up. Philly, New York, back and forth. Partied. I used to party Wednesday to Sunday. Tear them up. So that's one of the reasons too why I decided not to have any kids, because I was selfish. You know, I just party, work, drank, and all that kind of stuff. And there was no room for me to be a mother. I wasn't mature enough at the time to be somebody's mom. So once I made the transition and I became a mom, it was easy. Yeah, we used to tear it up, Netta. Tear it up. It was easy for me to stop the partying because I made a decision to be a mom. That's what it was for me. Like, I need to be making decisions. Sometimes I don't do well. Let me take that back. I almost told a lie. I was going to say I don't do well when you throw me into stuff. Yes, I do well. But becoming a mom, I made that decision. I think I just told it. Let me take that back. I did not make a decision to become a mom. But when I found out I was pregnant, everything changed. I was like, oh, okay, those days is over with. And I was perfectly fine with that. Because like I said, them streets don't mean nothing. I done did it all. And so I welcomed motherhood. I still welcome motherhood. So I got old. I can't hang no more anyway. So, you know, my son hang longer than me. I like that question though. Another question. What's something that people might misunderstand about you? Hey, Kara. What is something that people might misunderstand about you? I want y'all to write it in the comments what you think, because, I mean, I don't know. Oh, I could tell you one. Yeah, tell me, sister. Don't say nothing rude, please. God, don't make this girl say nothing rude. One is, people think I'm bougie. I mean, I know why they think that. Thank you, Allie. You're an inspiration too. Definitely are. I know why people think I'm bougie. Hey, Daph. You made it over. Tariq, I said hello. I think too, is because the way I carry myself. Certain crowds I don't play with. You know, there's certain crowds I'm bougie. There's certain crowds I just don't fool with. Certain people I just can't fool with. And so I understand why people think I'm bougie. I think people misunderstand me because like what my cousin just said, I'm a straight shooter. You know where you stand with me for the most part. And I like to think that I'm an honest person. Don't get me wrong. I done told some bad and bougie, huh? I done told some lies over the years, you know, for whatever reason. But I've never been known to be a liar. I'm definitely a straight shooter. You know what you get when you get with me. And I'm going to tell you the truth. But I try to be mindful when I tell people the truth or when I answer questions or I give my opinion. I try to put myself in their shoes because, you know, I'm a very sensitive person, but I like to be honest. Like, I think you don't do people any service when you're not honest with them. And sometimes people might think that I'm rough by the things I say. Some people think I'm harsh, but it's definitely all out of love. I think there's enough people that's going to coddle your feelings, and I don't want to be that person anymore. I used to coddle people's feelings. Hi, Leanne. I used to coddle people's feelings because I used to treat people as if they were me. Since I'm so sensitive, be gentle with my feelings. But what I also realize, I don't like to be lied to. So if that means you telling me the truth and I might cry or I might be offended a little bit, I'll get over it. I'm a big girl. Tell me the truth. That's how I look at things. Good question. I'm the opposite of you. I step on eggshells, laugh out loud. I love you. I love that about you. Thank you, Ash. You always love that about me. Don't get me wrong. I stepped on eggshells with a few people and they're no longer in my life. Yeah. Let me answer another question. Thank you, Karima. Hey, Daph. Hey, Shantae Carter. Jen. What are your future expectations for your podcast? Thank you, Lynn. Hey, Tawanda. Thank you. Future expectations for my podcast. Listen, it's for me, I just want to remain humble. Yes, please share this. Thank you so much. I just want to remain humble. Never get too big for your bridges, and I just want to, I started off by saying I just want to resonate with one person. And clearly I realized that I resonate with a whole lot of people. And I think more than I even expected. And I just want to be a light for some people. And eventually, I don't know, end up international somewhere. Hey, Q. Maybe meet my godmother. I never wanted to tell nobody who my godmother was, but if you really know me, my godmother's Oprah Winfrey. I mean, that was a lie. But I would love to meet her one day. I don't know. I just pray that my podcast stays around for a while. And I pray that I remain the person that I am, that's transparent and willing to tell my story, even at times when things are difficult. So I hope that answered your question. Y'all laughing at me. Okay. She might think I'm her goddaughter too. You'll see when I be on the big screen sitting in Oprah's backyard. Here's another question. What would be your advice for someone who may want to start their own podcast? I remember I talked to Wanda. I do. I dream big, Q. Yes, I do. Thank you, Kara. Let me tell you, one day, how this podcast started for me, and I'm going to be honest, my father's birthday is October the 29th, right? And I must have had a lot going on. And I forgot it was my father's birthday, right? And I just woke up one day, and on that day, I was like, you know what? I just want to help people. I just got this thing. There's two things that I know how to do is talk and help. So I was like, what can I do? I want to be a life coach. I want to do this. I want to be a therapist, but I ain't going back to school for that long. So I was like, what can I do? And I'm an avid podcast listener and watcher. So I was like, let me just start a podcast. I said it, and within 24, 48 hours, I had a podcast. And I do it on this platform called Anchor. And it's free. And shit, I don't know, should I be promoting it? They ain't paying me. But it's free. And you can do everything on there. Editing, record with friends, and all that kind of stuff. So I say just do it. Have something to talk about. Whatever. The best advice I can give you is, hi, Miss Maria. The best advice I can give you is, if you're going to do a podcast or do anything, make sure you could talk about some things that you're comfortable with talking about. Make sure you're relatable. And be honest about whatever it is you do. And I understand that this is not for everybody, because this is not easy. People say I make it look easy. There's a lot of preparation that goes into this. One being sometimes wine that's sitting down here. Some praying, some writing, some talking to my man, talking to my sisters, talking to my girlfriends, my aunts. Like, it be some stuff. Hi, Miss Maria. Thank you. So I just say, whatever you do, make sure your heart's in it. My heart is in this. That's all. Another question. Have you ever received an apology from any of the people that hurt you when you were younger? Sheesh. Let me see. My parents have apologized to me over the years for just whatever they thought they could have did differently, because they only did what they knew how to do at the time, right? And I think I turned out pretty okay, right? You know, I think some people over the years probably apologized. And I think I accepted it because I used to be so naive and gullible. You say you're sorry, fine. Well, okay, let's just move on. So, but if you're talking about, oh, my turnout was beautiful. Thank you, Ash. But if you're talking about someone in particular, like the person that violated me, absolutely not. He's never apologized. Other people that probably has violated me in different ways, no. Like that relationship I was in and he put his hands on me, no. He never apologized. And I think a long time ago, I stopped looking for people to apologize to me, because I used to wait forever. And the resentment just grew and grew and grew. And I had to realize some people apologize in different ways. Some people just move on and just hold conversations with you like they never did anything. Some people remove themselves from your life. Some people do all sorts of things other than open their mouth and apologize. So to answer your question, some people apologize. When I was younger, I think the most important people in my life have apologized to me. I hope that answered your question. I hope you guys got some questions for me out there, because I'm dwindling down. I think I got one left. And here it is. What is your proudest accomplishment? You admire my courage. Thank you so much, Leanne. I agree, Tawana. What is your proudest accomplishment? Well, I probably speak for everyone that is a parent. My proudest accomplishment is my son. My 4.8 pound baby that was born 3 weeks early, that irks my soul. But I wouldn't trade him for the world. Oh my God. I think motherhood by far, is the best blessing that you can never receive. That's how I feel. I absolutely adore my son. Hi, teacher. How are you? Yes, Eli the model. Thank you. Yes, that's my proudest accomplishment. I absolutely love being a mom, even at times when it gets hard. Because if you guys listen to my last episode about single parenting, and it's not easy. It's not easy. I want to speak a little bit about that episode too. You guys should go listen to it. I realized people probably expected me to, hi, lady. I think some people probably expected me to, let me just be real, badmouth my son's father. Few reasons why I couldn't and I wouldn't. It ain't like I'm not capable. But what for? Because I know there's a lot of us out there that are single parents, whether we're a mother or a father, right? And we all understand single parenting means you do this by yourself, you do that by yourself, you can't call that person, you gotta stay up when they sick, football, basketball, school, bus. We know that's what single parenting is, right? So, oh, your daughter wrote that? Oh, so it was no need for me to say that's what it is I do. That's what single parenting is, right? So for me, it was more of me forgiving myself for certain choices that I made. And also being mindful that was one of the most touchiest, hey, Aunt Carla, one of the most touchiest topics that I probably have done so far because of the people that's attached to that, being my son. And I think I've done enough already that I had to apologize for it. I didn't want to add anything else onto that, meaning get on here and talk about someone that I don't have the right to talk about, So that podcast that I did last week was more so being able to forgive myself, which by far, I don't know, it's harder for me to forgive myself than it is other people because I have a tendency to put a lot of responsibility on myself, as meaning if I wouldn't have did that, if I wouldn't have said that, if I wouldn't have chose that person, some of the things wouldn't be the way they are. And as I stated in my podcast, I took a lot of blame. I blame myself for some of the decisions that my son's father made for himself, which ultimately affected my son and me at times. Thank you, best friend. So I had to be very mindful about what it is I said. And I believe when what you put out there, an atmosphere comes back. And so there's no hatred towards anyone that I've once loved. There's no hatred. Do I wish things was different? Absolutely. Is it my responsibility to change things that's out of my control? It's out of my control. I can't do that. And it took me a long time to understand that. And when I start, if I'm going to be all the way honest with you guys, when I start really understanding a lot of things about myself and forgiveness and letting things go is when I lost my father. When I lost my father, my world literally did like a whole 360 times 2. And everything became so dark for me. And, because I lost that one person that I always knew was going to be there for me. And so when you no longer have that extension of you, there's things in your life that have to change. And so one thing became clear to me was that life was short. And I had to let go of some things. And how I felt about my son's father, I had to let that go. Because when I tell you that ate me up, I mean, it used to change my mood. And it kept me from being able to even be around certain people in a certain situation because my stomach used to turn. And that wasn't fair. It wasn't fair to me. At times, it wasn't fair to him, And I had to do a lot of work in order for me to become the person I am today, the mother that I am today, the daughter, the friend, the girlfriend, all that kind of stuff. Because this thing ain't easy. I mean, when you want to become a better person, you have to be able to sit with your shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I've learned how to sit in my shit. And it ain't pretty and it ain't easy. But, when you do the work, then you show up a different kind of way. You know, like, it's just certain things you no longer even allow to get to you. There's just certain people you don't welcome in your space. It's certain conversations you don't indulge in. It's just certain stuff you just don't do when you're a better person. Not a different person, but when you're a better person. Hello, thank you. Hey, cousin. Love the slogan. Sit with your shit. Yes, listen. Goodness. Sometimes I'll be too real. You know, sometimes I'll be too real. Sometimes I'll be having to hold some things in. And, you know, when I learned how to hold a lot of things in is when I did this podcast. Because believe it or not, I've only given you guys 10% of my life. And I had to do that for a few reasons. One, because I'm writing a book. And the majority of the stuff that I'm leaving out is going in a book. Another reason is because as I stated before, put it on a shirt, baby. As I stated before, my story is attached to people, and I don't have the right to tell somebody else's story. And I had to learn that is a thin line. Like, I had to be able to still tell my story and still be respectful of their feelings. And sometimes it gets tricky. And sometimes those people might not agree with the decisions you made. Sometimes you might lose some people behind you telling your truth. But that was a chance that I took. And it, you know, it didn't work out well in all aspects of my life, but I'm still here, and I get up every day, and every week I continue with an episode. Okay. Michelle Obama, huh? Man, listen. I would love to meet her too. So I think I can handle probably like 5 more questions, guys. Please share this video. Share. Let me drink my wine as y'all start asking me questions. Lord. Ash asked me a question. Amazing growth. Thank you, Leanne. We worked together so many years ago. And if you guys don't have any, I was really good, Netta. Cheers to you. So yeah, I'll take about 5 more questions. And if you don't have any, then I'll get off this live. Oh, here you go, Aunt Carla. Only aunts would say not too much. Lord. Lord, I miss you too, Leanne. Let me read this question. At what point during your journey did you realize that forgiveness is for you and attached to your healing and growth? Damn. And there's more. From the traumas that you experienced. Well, goddamn. Has anyone yet called you up and asked you about your podcast? Let me try to remember those questions. I'm going to come back to you, Kwanja. Yes, who called me up? I mean, ain't nobody famous called me up yet other than you, ma'am, from North Carolina. But no. God darn it. No, not yet, but I'm sure they will. No. Let me take that back. There's 2 people, I ain't gonna mention no names, but one was a guy that I used to work with, and he said to me he might consider doing a podcast, or even better, if one day he could be a guest on my show. And I would love to interview him for a lot of different reasons, but I won't say it now because I don't know if this will happen. So if it happens, then I'll be able to tell you about him. His story is very touching. God bless him. Another person is this person. We was really good childhood friends back in New York. And I was thinking I had to be at a certain level before I can reach out to her. She's in this live. And because, she's a big deal. And she reached out to me and asked to be a guest on my podcast. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'm doing something right. It would be dope to see me talking to Jada. Lord. Somebody better call that Red Table Talk. I would love to be on that. Has anyone, what are your most important values you try to install in Eli? To be honest, because my son, he 9, and he got a tendency to play with the truth, and that ain't gonna work in life. So you just got to tell the truth, even if you're uncomfortable, even if it hurts, even if you get your behind tore up, because you will. But that's you don't think about the end result. You got to think about when you tell one lie, you got to tell another, you got to tell another, you got to remember all that stuff, and you just don't get nowhere lying. And I can't, I always tell them there's 2 things in life you don't never want to be is a liar and a thief. First of all, I don't like neither one. And you just don't want to be those kind of people. I tell them to be honest, be thoughtful, be kind, be true to who you are. If you are around people, friends or family, and they doing something that makes you uncomfortable, that don't work well with your spirit, then that means you shouldn't do it. Be respectful around people. Be kind. That's one of my biggest things with my son is be kind. Because my son's the only child, and so he got this only child syndrome. And so I'm working on him with sharing. I'm like, sometimes it's okay to give your last. Not always, but, be kind. Be good to people. Don't judge people. Don't look down on people. Just because you're the only child and you may have all these things, you don't know what I had to do in order to be able to provide for you. And you don't know why other kids don't have things that they may not have. So those kind of things. And that's all I can do, especially with raising a son, Yes, that's the truth. Dang, Quandra. Upload this session to Red. Okay, and Kyle, I'll do it. I want to answer Quandra question. Quandra, send that question again. You said something about forgiveness. When did I start learning how to forgive? When did I start forgiving for myself? I don't remember when, but like I stated, when I lost my dad, at what point during your journey did you realize that forgiveness is for you? When I was in therapy. Mind you, I started therapy last week, but the lady got sick. I'm back in therapy, just so you guys know. When I started therapy, when I lost my dad, because first of all, when I went to therapy, I went there for grief, because I was in a bad place. Like, I would sit in the house in the dark. I would cry in the shower when my son was asleep. I even had a panic attack. I couldn't accept hugs because when people would hug me or try to hug me, it felt like you had pity for me. And I don't do well when I feel like people pity me. So I had to go to therapy, and I thought I was going there for her to teach me how to deal with losing my father. But in all actuality, when you're in therapy, it touches every aspect of your life. And I guess there was things in there that I was saying that even though it stemmed from me losing my father, it triggered other conversations that me and her had to have. And one big thing was the part with my son's father. That's one of the biggest things in my life that was hard for me, about forgiving and resentment. And she had to tell me about when you resent somebody, when you don't forgive somebody, it affects you. And she named all the things that it affected. And God knows if she named 10 of those things, 8 of them was affecting me. And I just thought, for me, at times, I chose not to forgive people because it allowed me not to have to deal with you. Because I didn't know how to have conversations with people, letting them know how they affected me. So the best thing I did was I just didn't forgive you And that allowed me to keep my distance from you. And I thought it was helping me, but in all actuality, it was tearing me up inside. It was tearing me up. And once I realized that, I mean, clearly I had to take baby steps, and I didn't start with my son's father. I couldn't start with him. It was too much. So hello, Erica Kane. So I had to start other places. I won't mention where or who, but I had to start other places. And then when I started forgiving, I was like, oh, she was right. I do need to forgive, because I was feeling better. And I was feeling better, and I didn't understand the connection. But my heart used to be heavy. And it was kind of like, how do you allow somebody to have that much control over your feelings and your emotions? And I didn't know that somebody had that type of control. But once I let that go, oh my God, I was like, oh, well, yeah, let me start forgiving a lot of people now. And now, I've forgiven a lot of people. Shoot, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people got to forgive me, But that's when I learned 2.5 years ago when I lost my father. Hello, Lorraine. Hi, how are you? I would love for you to ask me a question. I think I got like 2-3 more questions in me, guys. Oh, yeah, please share this video. Ooh. Let me show some of y'all while y'all here, while I'm waiting for y'all to do y'all questions. Look, another journey of Cherie merchandise. Look at this. It fits all size faces. Journey of Cherie, growing and protecting my peace. It's going to be on my website. Ow. You have a question? Go, Dre. What's your question? What's your question, Dre? 1 minute? Well, you got to ask me a question, Dad. Oh, shoot. You posted it up there? How do I go back? Jeez Louise. Oh. Did you ever have an incident where you had to distance yourself from toxic people, family, friends, etc.? Damn. Yes. And how did you go about it? For example, ghosting, moving out of the state. Did you not have to give an example? Can you just give an example on how you went about it? Ooh, baby. Shit, I was a part of the Ghostbuster team. Ghosting. Shit, I probably invented it. Yeah. I've ghosted people. I've left the state. I don't know if you know it, in a few of my podcasts, I used to call myself a road runner. Beep beep. Which means to me, I used to run from my problems. People might call it differently. But I used to run from my problem because it was just easier for me. I was so like, I didn't then and I don't now. I don't like confrontation. Even if you hurt me, it used to be hard for me to approach you and tell you how you hurt me because I'm so busy worrying about your feelings. And the whole time you can give 2 hoot nannies about mine. So I've ghosted. I've left states. I've distanced myself. I've not been to certain neighborhoods, certain clubs, just to avoid people. Not because I'm scared of them, just that I don't like confrontation. And sometimes, to be truthful with you, it's hard. It's hard to address people that you care about or you love and tell them how they hurt you. Because I think for me, you just don't know how it's going to turn out. And so sometimes it was like, you know what, they ain't going to get it. But then that's not my call. I don't got the right to say what somebody's not going to understand if I don't take the opportunity to have the conversation. So I'm getting better with that. I mean, there's still some people that I want to have conversations with. It's necessary. Because I can't sit here and say I'm doing the work and not have done the work. I could think of 2 people in particular that I need to have a conversation with. And I think once that conversation, happens, I might mention it to you guys. I might. Thank you for that question. Did you find healing Move away from PK and distance myself. Amen. Yeah. Yes, Lord. I left Poughkeepsie. I go back to visit. Do you and your baby father have a better relationship now? Baby father, son's father. Lord. Okay. Better. Good question, Dav. Let me figure out how to answer that one. So we share a son, and we're not what we used to be. I mean, we used to be like this. Like, whew. It used to be bad. It used to be bad. Because I just couldn't understand certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just couldn't understand certain things. And we are in a different space. Let me say that. We are in a different space. You know, we don't communicate much, right? But, you know, that's what you buy your kids phones for, and you keep that avenue open for them. So we don't communicate much, but we are cordial. We're cordial. We had to start somewhere. We're cordial. Whenever we have an interaction, we're cordial. And I think, too, I think we both tired. You know, I think we just both tired of how we've been over the years. So we had to figure out some things. We didn't figure it out together. We figured it out separately. But for me, I love the place that I am in when it comes to my son's father. I really do. I really do. And I pray that we get to a better space. I mean, a better space. But I'm in a healthy space with my son's father because that's where I choose to be. Because I decided to take my power back. So I hope that answers your question, Dav. I hope I answered your question. Hi, Darnell. Hey, Taj. I commend you because it's not easy placing any explanation, especially when it's an opinionated West. Let me read this. Thank you, Dav. Thank you so much, Taj. I'm reading that thing. I'm sorry. I ain't feel like reading it out loud. Thank you. Yeah, this ain't easy. But the more I speak about it, the more lives I do, I'm getting better with certain things. Because what I do know is this stuff that I'm doing, talking to you guys, whether it be live, whether it be on my podcast, this stuff is out there now. And so that's why, you know, you got to be mindful of what you say. And I know a lot of things I said today or since I've done my podcast, everyone's not going to agree with, but I don't sit here and expect people to agree with anything I do. I don't do it for that. I do it for healing purposes. I do it for helping purposes. And I just do it because why not? I think the times that we're in, you know, the world is hurting. And I think that we can all benefit from some type of healing. So why not just heal together? That's how I look at it. And I know there's a lot of people that don't agree with what I do, but I don't do it for them. You know, and I really can give what those kind of people think, you know, because truth be told, I get more praise than I do hate. And I'm all right with that. Let's see. You are only going to become more comfortable with it and you will groom into your position. Well, hello. Thank you kindly. I think one more question and I'm out of here. I don't even know what time it is. It ain't like I don't got no place to go. I'm on vacation, guys, till next year. Oh, shoot. Does your son understand the COVID-19 situation? Yes, he does. Lord, he be running around like, I'm not even gonna say what my son be saying, because he's a little bit different. He understands completely about COVID-19. He don't want no parts. Because, COVID has hit my family. I don't want to name who, but it's hit a few people in my family. And so we had to be away from people, it was touch and go, that kind of stuff. We know people that passed away from it. So he's aware. He understands. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. Let's see. Yes, I have had conversations with people that I would have never had if it was not for you. Oh, Lord, don't make me cry. Well, I'm happy. I'm happy because guess what? I have conversations with people that I probably would have never had a conversation with if I didn't do the work or if I didn't do this podcast. So I'm honored. Good job, Taff. And it only gets better. It only gets better. I'm sure you feel a lot better after that conversation, and you probably have many more. Right? Oh, you on vacay too? Good. Good. Okay, I think I got one more. Let me go. Amen, baby. Let me see. Do I have? I think I'm done. Keep shining. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys share this video. I'm trying to see if I got any more questions up here before I take one more. Let me see. I don't see any more. Hi, best friend. Let me also remind you guys too, I'm doing, what am I doing next week? I just drew a blank. Oh, my podcast next week is one of my favorite people. This was amazing. I will be on next time. Love you. Love you too. Have a good night. Let me just say this. I don't see any more questions. I'm going to get off. So next week, my episode, I'm talking to one of my favorite peoples. Hey, Mina. So late. Thank you. On January the 5th, the episode is going to be one of my favorite people. She is a mom that suffers from anxiety, and she has a teenage daughter that has type 1 diabetes. So this conversation is going to be very informative. She is very wise. She needs to go get certified as a diabetes counselor. And I don't know how she does it. God bless her. But she's going to tell us. And that's next week. And I like to think that these are not interviews. I want to say I like that I'm having conversations with people. So I think I'm going to do like a season of single parents, whether you're father or mother. Then I'm going to have like conversations with people that have experienced certain kind of traumas. One in particular, there's a few people that reached out to me that wants to talk about them being raped. And I'm very proud of those people that's willing to do that. And then there's other people that have been in abusive relationships. They want to talk about that. I'm honored. And I'm going to talk to men as well. Men that have children that don't live under the same roof with their kids. I know I want to get their perspective. I'm trying to be a well-rounded female. But I have had diabetes since 11 years old, but don't have it no more. 2 years now. Had a kidney transplant. God bless her. Yes, Daff, I heard you had a kidney transplant. Congratulations. Oh, yeah, you should tune into this. Yay. Oh, suicide awareness. I can do that. I will call you. Oh, I definitely will. I'm willing to do anything. And that's why I tell you guys, you can reach out to me. You have my personal number. Please use it. Text. I would say call me, but shit, I might be on the phone too long with you guys. You could text. You can email me at journeyofcherie.com. That's my website. journeyofcherie@gmail.com. You can inbox me on Facebook. You can DM me on Instagram. And you can text or call. However you get in contact with me, do it. I'm willing to interview basically anybody to a degree. So with that being said, I don't know what time it is, but I'm getting ready to get out of here. And as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Please share this. Take care of yourself, and I'll do the same. Cheers.